What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are on this, the 10th of April, sitting at about 1.18 cents. Closing the day yesterday, the 9th, up 43, almost 44%, closing it at a 1.21 cent price. This is the move that we've been looking for, the move that we've been waiting for, and that does close us above the kind of expected area to validate this as a low, you guys. We've been looking for it, we've been calling for it, and assuming that this could have been the low, but we didn't see enough confirmation yet. Here it is, looking at this just like this, that massive day with more volume than we've seen in about a month, since March 11th. Now, I don't know, what people are saying about this, but there might be some people who think this isn't enough volume. Well, the thing is, volume, you guys, first off, that is enough volume. That's actually some of the most volume we've seen throughout this whole downward sloping movement here. Secondly, we don't need to see volume like this come in. I mean, we might not even see volume like this come in, but until we're really starting to move up and breaking out of here, something at like 2.6 cents, maybe even as high as like 3.5 cents. That's whenever this more significant volume has to come in. So you can actually float up without a significant amount of volume. Don't think any other way. I know that some people get hung up on volume, and the thing that I've learned with volume is especially if you're new, don't think that you know everything about it just because you know some tips or tricks. It's very circumstantial. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's contextual. You know what I mean? The context right now is bullish. It is increasing as we're moving out. Very bullish. Speaking of context, we identified this back here, talking about how you have broken out of the bull flag, right? This is a bull flag. It's been identified as such, and we've been in a bull flag for quite some time. And we broke out of it to the bullish effect. And I only paid attention to this because one of the trolls was talking about how we're still in a bull flag somewhere at this point. They're like, we've been in this bull flag for 3 months, and it's like, actually, technically, we broke out of it back here in the middle of March, so we actually haven't been in it as long as this whole consolidation phase looks like, right? It might seem like that, but the truth is we broke out of it back here. And we could think about this logically, because if you did break below this line, if we saw some kind of more significant phase below this line than just a tip out, right, something like that, and this might not even be the best drawn line. I don't know what would be. Maybe something with a higher angle like this. That seems a bit more parallel in my opinion. That seems much better fit. But if we broke out to the downside, everybody, all the bears, all the haters, they'd be celebrating like crazy that we broke out of the bull flag to the downside. I would be coping if I was still bullish down here. If we broke out of this, guys, that would have been bad, right? I would have definitely been coping, hoping beyond all beliefs. That's all I would have, is cope and hope. But here to the upside, we broke out. People are trying to argue that we haven't broken out of the bull flag, and I think this just validates it. Really, it validates not just the fact that we have broken out of this bull flag to the upside, and we'll talk about where we go from there, but also the fact that this is a low. I think this very much does validate the low here. And again, just rationalizing this, if we were to the downside moving like this, we would have had to accept defeat. There's some bigger things coming, right? Just like this, you're holding to the upside, you're slowly phasing it out. You just look at the price, it's slowly rolling like this kind of flattening bottom where you're moving down, you're losing momentum and flattening out, rounding out. Rounded bottoms, frying pans, whatever you want to call them, they're good. They're very good. And this is a nice reaction off the oversold area on the daily RSI, having this bullish divergence at the very bottom here. If we look at this low here, higher low there, even higher low right there, and all you had were lower lows all the way through. That is double bullish divergence, and it was the real deal, you guys. That is enough volume. This is a breakout move, a breakout candle by all respects of the word, and absolutely, this is phenomenal. In fact, I wonder what we've seen on a volume basis here. I mean, yeah, that's phenomenal. 30% basically, not quite 30%, but maybe a little bit under there. 29%. That's fantastic, you guys. That's fantastic. Absolutely sufficient for this kind of move. Again, Coinbase, the volume on Coinbase isn't the only volume out there, and I'm only focusing on this so much because I know a lot of people seem to think they know what's up with the volume, but it's not that cut and dry. Not trying to belittle anybody. I just want to help people understand, because I've been there. And there's a lot of the times whenever you start, you think that you know everything because you know of one circumstance and where it worked out this one time and looked a certain way. But things are different, right? We don't need to see. All I'm trying to say is we don't need to see the same volume here as we did back here in order for it to be legitimate. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't make that comparison. It's not a worthy comparison to make. Compare this move to what we're doing here, right? There's a reason why my histogram only has a 45 period of relevancy, because at a certain point things become irrelevant. And that not it just depends on the analysis, but I'm getting hung up on this. I want to move on. All right, I just hope I'm making a good point. If we're looking at this here on a daily basis, if not, don't even worry about it. Volume's tricky. There's some people that analyze charts without even using volume, and they do fine. So, and I've heard of people who only use volume, and they do fine as well, and they don't even use indicators other than that. But tomato, whatever. It depends on the source. I'm really hung up on this, and I shouldn't be. I'm going to move on, okay? From a low to a high, 1 cent here to about 1.5 cents here, all the way down to the 1886, and we have, in fact, closed with yesterday's candle above the golden ratio, 1.2 cents there. Now, what we need to do is persist. It's okay. It is totally fine if we come back down, you guys. It's totally fine. We have plenty of opportunities to find support, finding higher lows and stuff like that, showing productivity on the fibs where we have, since really January, we've been deconstructive. We can start to be constructive and productive to the upside, even at these lower prices. But I think the most optimal kind of thing that would show that we really have found our low and that we're ready to move up now would be to continue to close above 1.2 cents today. If we can get 2 days in a row to close above this golden ratio, validates this as a low, and it would just also further validate the idea that we're going to continue going higher. From here, I would think the minimum area that we would go to would probably be the 236, which is all the way up at about 1.37 cents, something like that. Pretty close to where that top is. So we could form some kind of double top or something like that and consolidate in this area maybe. Or if we don't stop there at about 1.37, 1.4 cents, something like that, I could see us making a move all the way up to about 1.8 cents or higher. So it just depends on what we do today. I want to look at the 4-hour time frame. Let's see here. Looking at the 4-hour RSI. Pretty overbought, but that's fine. Getting overbought is a good thing, right? The last time that we got overbought, for example, I mean, here we got overbought, and did we stop there? No. Close to it. We continued to run. This was a kind of false move, though, right? We broke out of this downtrend. If we look at it, broke out of this downtrend and then broke back into it. Here, this is not a false move. This is something more substantial. I think we can see that. So be curious to see. And I mean, obviously, the RSI, too, is stronger overall than this was as well. So I'd be curious to see if it does, in fact, continue to run today. That'd be really nice to see, you guys. Closing above 1.201 cents is a big deal. And if not, it's not going to be detrimental if we don't close above there. Okay, let's just get that straight. But the 1-hour RSI also looking good, right? You can see this is a more robust RSI than any of these highs that we've seen. Really, I mean, man, like when's the last time that we saw something this robust? Back here? Kind of. I mean, kind of, yeah. That would be the closest to it. But again, that was a fake move where this, I mean, who knows? Anything can happen. You never know, right? Volatility can happen, but this definitely to me looks more like a substantial move that is breaking out of this overall. It's not just above this line, but breaking away from this line. This is very validating to the whole notion of this bull flag that we've been talking about since January. Maybe, if not February, since it really began to take shape. And this bull flag here does have a measure move. We finally do have the low. I think it's very valid that it's the low right now. Technically, we're a little ahead of the game. Let's wait and see how today closes before we validate it, but I feel pretty confident in that being the low. More confident now than any low we've had. From a measure move overall on the bull flag here to the low point of the flag itself, that would take us up to about 15.2 cents. Is that right? I want to make sure that that's right. Let's see. Did I measure from the right? Looks like I measured from the right places. So yes, 15.2 cents, and that has to be that looks pretty spot on. It's a little bit lower, but that drop, again, it did diminish the overall growth potential that we have. Now, from the low, the move is still a 20x, but 15.4 cents from 1.1 cents is not a 20x. If we look at the potential areas based on fibs now, because we do have a fib here, from this high back in January to the low back here, just recently this week here. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. Come on, there we go. That would put us at the 1618 golden extension, the golden ratio there. So that's a very possible outcome. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're one of the people like myself who's really expecting 20 cents or higher, I think it's important that we're aware of this area, 15.7. OnyxCoin has been doing this thing where it even finds resistance just below, sometimes just above. Look for that, right? Because breaking above this thing normally would be a good indication that we're going up here, but OnyxCoin can top off just above it. If we see a wick and we close below, that could set us up for some downside. Or if we fail to reach it and then we're closing back below the 1414, that could be a bit of front running, selling off. So this 1618 area, just getting ahead of myself here, it's going to be a very significant area at 15.7 cents. If we can really get above it, if we can break above like 17 cents on a daily closing basis, I don't think there's anything stopping us for another 10 cents there at 26 to 32 cents. That to me is going to be our top area, but this is the minimum expectation at the 1618, and I'm drawing some very poor arrows, but you can see what I'm going for. So something in that area between 32 cents to 15.7 cents. This is the ultimate destination for OnyxCoin. It's the bull flag, it's the measure move of that, and with the bull flag you can hit the measure move precisely, you can excel past it, you can even fall short of it. It's very possible. But with something like this going on, I think that there's been so much disbelief, there's been a lot of attention from the last move that happened back in January there. Sorry. This move here that happened, there's been a lot of disbelief, a lot of loss taking, and people also getting in at the right moments to send this thing up to the upside. And I think that this move could really validate this more than just a 15 cent target area here. We could see something that excels past it, but time will tell. The main reason why I think we're going to go past it, beyond everything else that I've said, which is, it's all speculation at the end of the day, but the main reason I think that we're going to go past that here, we go to XCN BTC and we see where we stopped, right? And this is a picture perfect bull flag. Clearly you're breaking out to the upside. This thing, it's going to stop probably a lot closer to its measure move, in my opinion. I don't think that it goes too much beyond it, but maybe it goes beyond it, maybe it falls shy of it, but something like this measure move, I'll bring it down a little bit even so it kind of encapsulates it. That's right there. Let's put a line there, right? Measure moves right here. That's right at the base of this area here, right at the base resistance zone there. And if we look at the last high that we had, it was right at the base of this zone. Of course, it would be here at this zone, because where are we going to stop otherwise? We're going to stop in these nowhere areas of nonsense that don't matter. No, this is the only consolidation phase we had throughout this whole move down. It's no coincidence that the Bitcoin pair stopped right here. So where's it going to stop on this next move up? Is it going to stop here? Probably not. Probably not after this kind of a move. Sure, bull flags, you can miss your measure move and fall shy of it, but this much, I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I doubt it. This makes sense to me, and even past this makes sense, because here you have prior support, here you have prior support on a closing basis, which that's exactly where you stopped on this line here. So just assuming something around, that's 50209, let's just say 502. We go to Google Calculator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros 2. This is XCN priced in Bitcoin, right? So if OnyxCoin and USD gets to a certain price, it should be worth this area of value versus Bitcoin, about 502. Let's do 5018. Let's bring that down even. 5018. I'm being very conservative here, right? I'm taking the line from the measure move. I think we're going to exceed the measure move on the Bitcoin price, because it makes the most sense to stop here, not at the measure move itself. If we were to stop lower, the only area that would make sense is right here, and that to me doesn't make nearly as much sense, but it could happen. So we're running with the thing that makes the most sense, at least in my mind, hopefully in your mind too, so that we're making sense out of this. And then also we're even being conservative, right? 5018. I feel like I'm being more than conservative. If we're pricing this versus Bitcoin, right? This is XCN to BTC. This is the Bitcoin price. So what would Bitcoin be? What would Bitcoin's price be by the time that OnyxCoin is at its next high? Nobody knows, but we're going to take a guess. Let's just say it's above 130K. I think that Bitcoin's on a path right now to 170 to $200,000, something like that, by the end of May and end of June. So let's put it at the golden ratio here. Let's assume that the low's in. I think it might be. This kind of convinces me here what happened yesterday, but we'll see. Today needs to be a good day as well. Let's be real. We haven't validated it yet, but it's definitely looking exciting. I did think that we'd go below this low, but yesterday has me convinced that we might not. And I haven't made that video yet, but I will talk about that. Just a little spoiler there. But let's say from this low, if we were to go lower, let's say it's not the low. If we were to go lower, this 1618 only goes higher. So putting it right here puts it at about 138K. Let's say Bitcoin goes to 138K. Oops. So that's 138,000 versus the price XCN to BTC. This would give us our US dollar price for OnyxCoin. Where are we going to go? Let's see. That's at 25 cents, you guys. When I'm telling you that 15 cents, 16 cents is a minimum target, I'm not just saying that because I really want to see this 26 cent area. I'm saying even whenever we're conservative with the BTC target, the next likely area that we'd stop at on this whole damn graph, right? Where's it going to be? It's not going to be between this area and this area. No, it's going to go right up to this area, if not higher. We're being conservative. and we're getting targets that are at not even our minimum next area on the fibs. I really do believe OnyxCoin is going to see a 26 cent to 32 cent price by the end of this move. It's going to take more time than the last move did. I don't expect it to be a short process. A lot of people might get discouraged if it's anything but a 2-week move, but I don't think it'll be a 2-week move. I think it's going to be a 2-month move. By the end of June, we'll see this come into full fruition, and there will be ups, there will be downs, and I think there's going to be all arounds as we make our way progressing back up through this full retracement. But once we get above about 3.5 cents, 4 cents, and beyond, we're really going to see this thing break away, and it's not going to stop until it's at new all-time highs, and that's my expectation. So I got nothing else for you guys. Again, I do believe the low is in. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw some volatility. I'm not saying that it's a good time to buy here, but not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I think it's probably like a last call, all aboard. Even if it goes lower, if you buy here, you got to be okay with the idea that it could go lower, and then just either buy more or don't sell. It's okay to buy the high. It's not okay to buy the high and sell the low, right? It's okay to buy the high and it goes lower than that. It's not okay to buy the high and sell the low. You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to sell at a potential higher low. Just buy more, or buy and hold if you blow it all at once. And then if it goes up without you, or if it goes up with you, at least then you're making money. If you don't buy here and it goes up without you, you might feel pressure to buy at higher prices and then it dumps. You know what I mean? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but even here at about 1.2 cents, I think the OnyxCoin is at a phenomenal price to buy. You know, you take it from a relative high to a relative low here. You are literally right at the 236. That's phenomenal. That's the most ideal time in a fib perspective to buy at. Anytime that you're below the 0.5, to me, it gets the green light. Anytime you're above it, you know, a little depends. It depends on a couple things, but more of like a yellow light situation. But right now, I think we're in prime buying time. Even yes, after a 43% move, 44% move to the upside, you just have to be able to have conviction, and if you buy here, tell yourself it's okay if it goes down. It's not okay. What it's not okay to do, and you should tell yourself right now, is it's not okay to buy here if I'm going to sell here. Okay. That's what's not okay to do. It's even okay to wait and then chase it a little bit, because we're still at really relatively forgiving times. But not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do your own things, make your own decisions. Really, you should have been buying this whole last week whenever we were shouting from the damn rooftops, guys, that it was a good time to buy. I went on vacation. The curse happened. We got the low, and now it's time to rip. I got nothing else to say. I'm coming home soon enough. It'll be less than a week, and the damn charts are going to pump at the same time. So I bet on my flight back, we're going to be soaring through the air together. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one.